My daughter's not even 3 yet, and when I think about it, I start to sweat and think, oh my, how am I going to talk to her about these things when the time comes? And you know, it's so many years in the future, and things will have changed, and there'll be new language, and who knows? But
it's not so many years in the future, because don't they say that the best time to talk to kids about sex is right now?
Now.
Whatever that means for you.
Yeah. That's the thing, is the years can slip by.
Yeah.
And if I think that I'm guilty of that, letting the years slip by with my first child, but knowing how to keep the door open so that they'll come to you is really valuable. And I think if you can talk to your kids about sex, you can talk to them about anything.
Yeah, it's true. And
So
I would say too, I think one thing that is important for parents to remember is that they can be uncomfortable and still talk about it. They just have to kind of push through that, so that when their kids come to them with, you know, what do you call this, and how are babies really made, that you're giving them age-appropriate answers. You don't have to give them the whole, you know, bill of goods on the first conversation if they're 3 years old.
For sure.
Yeah. But age-appropriate, start talking about, you know, the anatomy and what things are really called, and calling it by its proper name and that type of thing.
Yeah, and I think that helps to normalize things too. That's one of my, in teaching the Nurturing Parenting program, I was dreading week 11 is where we talk about, you know, the anatomy of the body and kind of appropriate versus inappropriate touch, and I was just so dreading that. And then it happened, and it was so great, and the kids just accepted what I was saying, and they did everything that was asked of them, and oh yeah, and that's what that's called, and that's what we say, and this is what we should say if this happens, and it was so normal. And whereas for me as an adult, I was just like, oh, how am I going to do this?
Well, and if you started that with them when they were 16, they'd all be giggling out of the room, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to capture that audience at the right time.
Yeah.